Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. As you can see from the screen, we will present the material about translation analysis on metaphors, a case study of Negeri Lima Menara novel, translated into The Land of Five Towers. Next slide, please. So before we get into the material, let me do some little introductions to the members of our group. There are Raisa Srikandi, Salsabila Fauzia Ihya, Syiraya Nuar, and Silva Saputri. So without any further ado, let's get into the material. We'll start with types of metaphor found in Negeri Lima Menara novel, translated into The Land of Five Towers. Next slide. So before we get into the analysis, first, it's the definition of metaphor. Metaphor is common figurative language which is always used in every literary work. Metaphor is analogy of comparing two objects or something directly. Knowles and Moon explain that metaphor as non-literal language which uses comparison cannot be interpreted literally, otherwise the meaning would be irrational. There are four parts which can help to analyze the metaphor to find out the strategy of translating metaphor so it has the same meaning in target language. So, the first one, types of metaphor. There is dead metaphor. Dead metaphors are part of the idiomatic constructions of the lexicon of the language. Dead metaphor is easily found and it is such an idiom. It usually makes a person or reader does not think that it is dead metaphor because they do not think about the primary sense, but only the idiomatic sense directly. So for the example of the dead metaphor, okay, the first example of that metaphor, the sentence is from the short language, dunia impianku runtuh jadi abu dalam sekejap mata. Target language, the dream world then collapsed into dust in the blink of an eye. The excerpt above occurs when Ali is dwelling on his conscience about his dreaming in getting public school after he graduates from Islamic Junior High School. But in different perspective, his parents do not agree with him to get in public senior high school because they want their children to study in Islamic senior high school to add religious knowledge. This is abstract, which looks like the dust as concrete thing. In Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia, abu means the remnants of something. For example, is incinerator. It is impossible to be back again like in the former. The metaphorical image in this sentence goes to that metaphor because the reader directly finds out what the meaning of the dust itself which exists around us. For the next example of that metaphor, in the source language, pondok dijadikan bengkel untuk memperbaiki yang rusak. In target language, pesantrens became repair shops to fix what was broken. This excerpt is found in the novel Within Alif's Utterances about pesantren. He always thinks that pesantren is a place for defective kids who are not accepted in public schools, perhaps because of the wrong social intercourse or poor parenting. The topic of metaphorical expression in Pondok in this passage, Pondok has meaning as the dormitory of Islamic school or for learning about religion. This is usually used for the people who want to study hard in their religion or want to be a leading religious figure. But in Indonesia, many people consider that Pondok is a place for fixing bad characters in order to be a good person when they graduate from their pesantren. So, the author equalizes the metaphorical image of pondok into bengkel. In Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia, bengkel is a place for doing an exact purpose, for example, for fixing the damaged car or cycle. Therefore, it is that metaphor because it is part of daily language. For the next example of that metaphor is for source language, dosaku terus menggunung. Target language, my sins grow in number. Next slide, please. So, in this example, it is one of the quotes in Abu Nawas' poem, which is sung by Ali. He sang the verses solemnly because he asked forgiveness for all his sins. This extract has compared between dosa and gunung, which means that the sins grow continuously. It can be seen from the word gunung. It is a metaphorical image. The word dosa, as an abstract thing, has the meaning of an attitude which breaks God's law, and it is in contrast with the word gunung as concrete thing which symbolizes large amounts. Target language reader can understand why the author puts the metaphorical image of gunung on the sentence. For the next type of metaphor is the life metaphor. Yes, so life metaphors are those which are constructed on the spot by the author or speaker to teach or illustrate, while the death metaphor is easily understood. Life metaphor is paying special attention for the comparison which is being made. Life metaphor can be described on how the author compares the different two objects which are not alike, but the author can combine in most ways are similar. So for the first example, for the source language, suaraku layu tercekat. In target language, my voice choked. So this passage is found in part of narration when Alif is delivering his speech at his junior high school's graduation. He is speechless and cannot put out his word except the word thank you. In this context, Alif's voice is the topic and Layu is the image. It is life metaphor because the reader should think about comparison between Alif's voice and Layu. Layu means unhealthy and tercekat means blocked in Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia. By observing the topic and the image which are being compared, it infers that the metaphorical image is symbolized as restrained voice. Next slide. For the next example of life metaphor in source language is yang kulihat hanya gelap segulita pikiranku. In target language, I saw only dark like my thoughts. The author creates this metaphorical expression because he wants to compare the darkness and Ali's mind. It is called as life metaphor because the author illustrates on the spot and does not take common metaphor of our daily lives. In the sentence, the metaphorical image is only dark and the topic is my thought. Mine is referred to Alif. The darkness symbolizes Alif's mind, which is messed up with his mother's desires to get to Islamic school after he graduates from junior high school. According to Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia, the gloomy mind, means at your wit's end or can imply that madness, which is occurred by stuffiness. Therefore, it is connected when they are compared to each other. For the next example, in the storage language, berhak mendapat derajat premium di akhir nanti. In target language, be entitled to a premium position in the hereafter. So, in this passage, the word derajat premium is the metaphorical expression. Derajat is the topic and premium is the metaphorical image. It is called life metaphor because the point of similarity in its context is implicit, so the reader has to think about it. Based on Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia, the meaning of premium is a gift. Related to this context, a gift is from God. A gift symbolizes something that is given by God if we always obey His rules. So it is appropriate when the author binds those two words into one. So for the next material will be presented by my group mate. Next slide, please.
Okay, so for the next is strategies of translating metaphor in Negeri Lima Menara, novel translated into the Land of Five Towers. Number one, there is changing metaphor into simile. In search language, yang kulihat hanya gelap, segulita pikiranku. In target language, I saw was only dark, like my thoughts. The translator transferred the metaphorical expression into simile in order to make the readers find out the meaning of the metaphor clearly in target language. In Indonesia, gelap gulita is a part of idiom, whereas in English it is translated into very dark. So the translator translates it into only dark, like by thoughts. The topic of the metaphor is thoughts. The image is dark, and the point of similarity here is confusion. For the next example is pasangan Malaysia bermain kesetanan. In target language, Malaysian pair play like crazy. Translator has transformed metaphorical image into simile because he adds the word like, which is characteristic of simile form. Also, the translator translates kesetanan into crazy because in Indonesia it has meaning that they are enthusiastic to do something. Therefore, the translator employs the word crazy to illustrate the metaphorical image in target language. The metaphorical expression has play as the topic crazy and crazy as the image, and point of similarity between them is widely excited to win the game. And for number two, there is substituting source language metaphor which has a meaning in target language metaphor. For the example, there is the source language, kubah dan menara raksasanya berkilau di sapu sinar matahari. In target language, it is giant dome and minarets spark in the wars of morning sun. Translator changed the word disapu into in the was for making appropriateness in the target language. Generally, both have the similar meaning, which is cleaning dirty things. But disapu implies that cleaning using broom, whereas in the wash is cleaning using water. Therefore, in this context, the author wants to compare the sparkling of giant dome and minaret as the topic and in the wash of morning sun as the image. Meanwhile, the similarity between them is shining. For the next example is, bahasa asing adalah kunci jendela-jendela dunia. In the target language, foreign language are the true key to unlocking the doors of the world. The word jendela-jendela translates into the doors, which means translator change metaphorical image in target language in order to be acceptable in target language. The meaning of the key based on Oxford Dictionary is a piece of metal that basically locks or unlocks a door. Therefore, the topic of the metaphor is foreign language. The image of metaphor is the true key, and the points of similarity between them is one of the ways as opener. Next example, in source language, isi pengumuman ini sungguh gado-gado. In target language, the content of this announcement about were really hodgepodge. The word gado-gado translates into hodgepodge as its noun. The term gado-gado is kind of traditional food in Indonesia, especially from East Java, which the vegetables, fruits, and rice pocket is mixed into one with peanut sauce, and doesn't exist in target language. Meanwhile, the meaning hodgepodge is mixed thus it's proper, the metaphorical image in target language. The topic of this metaphor is announcement, the image is hodgepodge, and the similarity is meaning announcement which are announced into one. Next example, social language, dosaku terus menggunung. Target language, my sins grow in number. The metaphorical image of menggunung changed into growing in number. The meaning of menggunung is having a large amount. The relation of this context is having so much sins. Although the translator has substituted the image, both of them have similar meaning within each culture. According to Oxford Dictionary, growing is referred to increase in size, number, strength, or quality. Next example, in source language, matanya kejora. In target language, her eyes shone. The author compared her eyes with kejora, and the meaning of it is an eastern star that is often visible in the morning. In Indonesia, the word kejora is usually used to illustrate the sparkle thing. In this context, it is refers to the eye, so the translator replaces the word kejora into son in order to be acceptable in target language. Therefore, the topic is her eyes, the image is shone, and the last point of similarity is something sparkling. Next, in the source language, aku adalah seekor Garuda yang terbang tinggi dan mendarat di bulan. In target language, I was an eagle flying high, landing on the moon. The translator compared I with Garuda as metaphorical image, and she changed Garuda into an eagle. Basically, Garuda means a kind of bird that has power to fly. It is like an eagle, but absolutely it is not an eagle. In this passage, the translator changed metaphorical image of source language, which has meaning almost the same. Therefore, I as the topic of this metaphor, an eagle as the image, and has the power of manly adverb as the point of similarity. Next, in the source language, ucapan-ucapan yang menegakkan bulu roma. In target language, spine-tingling words. The meaning of spine-tingling terrifying. The meaning of the spine-tingling is terrifying. However, metaphorical image of source or target language has the similar meaning in order to make the reader of target language understand the intention of the author. Therefore, the topic is the words, the image is spine-tingling, and the point of similarity between them is disturbing statement. And the next will be presented by my partner.
Okay, and the next, translating metaphor into its metaphorical meaning. In this page, the translator prepared to translate the metaphor without keeping the metaphorical image. The metaphorical image may not be understood easily in target language if it translate using the same image and become useful sound for target language. Therefore, the translator transfer the image from layu cekat into sok, which means tersedak, without changing the meaning from metaphorical experience in this space. For example, suaraku layu tercekat, target language, my voice sok. Next.
Okay, for the next material is keeping the metaphorical image. So, metaphorical image adalah bentuk ekspresi yang menggunakan metafora untuk menciptakan gambaran visual dalam pikiran pembaca atau pendengar. Ini adalah cara untuk menggambarkan sesuatu dengan menggunakan bahasa figuratif yang menyamakan satu hal dengan hal lain yang berbeda namun memiliki kesamaan tertentu dalam sifat atau karakteristiknya. Next slide, please. Untuk yang pertama ada datum 5, Search language, untuk dijadikan sebagai bengkel untuk memperbaiki yang rusak. Target language-nya, pesantren became repair shops to fix what was broken. Citra metaforis dari bahasa sumber diterjemahkan secara langsung oleh penerjemah. Artinya, penerjemah mempertahankan citra tersebut dalam bahasa sasaran. Citra bengkel diterjemahkan menjadi repair shops, karena kedua kata tersebut memiliki makna yang sama. Repair shops atau bengkel juga merupakan kata yang tepat untuk bahasa sasaran. Tampaknya penerjemah juga cenderung mempertahankan budaya bahasa sumber. Lalu yang kedua, datum 8. Agama adalah oksigen. Target language-nya, religion is oxygen. Dalam novel ini, Burhan, senior di pesantren Madani, menjelaskan kepada orang tua santri bahwa di pesantren tersebut kegiatan keagamaan dan non-keagamaan tidak dipisahkan, sehingga agama dipelajari dan dipraktikkan dalam kegiatan sehari-hari seperti olahraga, pramuka, dan kesenian. Penerjemah menggambarkan agama sebagai oksigen, menekankan bahwa agama sangat penting bagi kehidupan, sama halnya seperti oksigen yang diperlukan untuk bernafas. Lalu selanjutnya datum 12, jantung kota London yang klasik. Target language-nya, the heart of classic London. Penerjemah mempertahankan metafora dengan menerjemahkan jantung kota menjadi the heart of. Terjemahan ini terdengar alami dalam kedua bahasa dan lebih mudah dipahami. Kata jantung dipilih karena berarti pusat dan relevan dengan konteks kebisingan dan aktivitas di pusat kota London, seperti di sekitar Big Ben dan Trafalgar Square. Lalu selanjutnya, datum 13, senyumnya adalah obat yang sejuk. Lalu target language-nya, her smile was fresh medicine. Citra metafora diterjemahkan dengan mempertahankan citra aslinya. Obat diterjemahkan menjadi medicine, dan sejuk menjadi fresh. Penulis membandingkan senyuman Ibu Alif dengan obat yang sejuk karena senyum tersebut dapat mengobati rasa sakit Alif. Penerjemah memilih terjemahan harfiah untuk mempertahankan pesan metafora dalam bahasa sasaran. Lalu selanjutnya, next slide please. Selanjutnya datum 14, surga itu ada di bawah telapak kaki ibu. Target language-nya, heaven is under a mother's heel. Penerjemah membuat gambaran metafora yang sama dalam bahasa sasaran. Hal ini terlihat pada kata di bawah telapak kaki ibu yang diterjemahkan menjadi under a mother's heel atau di bawah tumit ibu. Datum ini ditemukan dalam novel ketika guru Alif memberikan nasihat kepada Alif tentang nasihat agama dalam berbakti kepada orang tua. Guru Alif mengucapkan kutipan ini dan diambil dari sabda Nabi Muhammad SAW. Lalu di datum 17, kipas anginnya menderu-deru mendinginkan semut-semut. Target language-nya, the fans whirled around to cool off the ants. Penerjemah mempertahankan citra metaforis tanpa menambah penjelasan karena sudah dimengerti dalam bahasa sasaran. Ungkapan ini membandingkan penghuni pesantren Madani dengan semut yang berkumpul. Terlihat saat mereka menonton pertandingan bulu tangkis. Karena ada larangan menonton TV, kesempatan ini dianggap luar biasa sehingga penggambaran semut-semut sangat sesuai dengan sifat penghuni yang suka berkumpul. Lalu selanjutnya, datum 19, berhak mendapat derajat premium di akhirat nanti. Target language-nya, be entitled to a premium position in the hereafter. Penerjemah menerjemahkan derajat premium menjadi premium position atau posisi premium. Ini berarti dia tidak mengubah citra metaforis dalam bahasa sasaran. Dalam bahasa Indonesia, derajat berarti kedudukan, sementara dalam bahasa Inggris, position. Nah, posisi premium diibaratkan sebagai proses mencari ilmu, dan salah satu sabda Nabi kita yang menyuruh kita untuk mencari ilmu sejak bayi hingga menjelang ajal menjemput. Hal ini menunjukkan bahwa penerjemah menyampaikan maknanya dengan baik, oleh karena itu, dia mempertahankan citra metafora ini. Lalu selanjutnya datum 21, ibu kota negara superpower ini, target language-nya, the capital of the superpower nation. Metafora source language negara superpower diterjemahkan menjadi negara adikuasa yang juga merupakan metafora dalam target language. Hal ini menunjukkan bahwa citra tersebut masih identik dalam bahasa sasaran. Baik bahasa sumber maupun bahasa sasaran masih mengandung makna kiasan. Kata negara adikuasa merujuk pada negara yang memiliki kekuatan yang sangat besar. Dalam konteks ini, yang dimaksud adalah Washington DC atau ibu kota Amerika. Penerjemah menerjemahkan citra metaforis secara langsung dari teks bahasa sumber ke dalam teks bahasa sasaran yang sesuai dengan tata bahasa. Next slide, please. Lalu selanjutnya datum 22, Mesir yang disebut ibu peradaban dunia. Target language-nya, Egypt is called the mother of world civilization. Dalam bagian ini, kata ibu peradaban dunia adalah citra dalam ungkapan metaforis ini. Penerjemah menerjemahkan citra tersebut dalam bentuk yang sama. Pada bahasa sasaran, sebenarnya arti kata peradaban adalah keadaan, perkembangan, dan organisasi sosial manusia. Terkait dengan konteks ini, Atang mengatakan bahwa tempat yang paling perlu dikunjungi adalah Timur Tengah dan Afrika karena sering disebut-sebut dalam kitab suci, yaitu salah satunya Mesir. Lalu datum 23, di kepalaku berkecamuk badai mimpi. Target language-nya, in my head a storm of dreams world. Contoh metafora langsung ini diterjemahkan dengan mempertahankan citra metaforis many desire atau banyak keinginan sebagai topik dan badai mimpi sebagai citra. Penerjemah tidak mengganti atau mengubah citra dalam bahasa sasaran karena pesan yang ingin disampaikan kepada pembaca dalam bahasa sasaran dalam bahasa sasaran, badai adalah badai dan mimpi adalah mimpi. Terjemahan tersebut terdengar wajar jika dibandingkan dengan banyaknya keinginan yang dimiliki oleh Alif. Kedua kata tersebut diterjemahkan secara harfiah agar mudah dipahami oleh pembaca. Lalu selanjutnya datum 27, nasib kami para petani garam masih tetap asin, belum manis. Target language-nya, this pair of us, salt farmer is still salty and not yet sweet. Penerjemah telah menerjemahkan metafora ini dengan mempertahankan citra metaforisnya, sehingga kalimat ini juga dapat diterima oleh pembaca bahasa sasaran. Selain itu, penerjemah juga mempertahankan metafora bahasa sumber agar tidak mengubah makna dalam bahasa sasaran. Jadi, citra dan topik jelas mencantumkan bahwa still salty and not yet sweet atau masih asin dan belum manis. Sebagai citra dan topiknya adalah nasib petani garam. Lalu selanjutnya datum
Oh,
30, datum 30.
Waktunya semenit lagi.
Oke, dan langsung datum 32. Source language-nya PM adalah kerajaan ribuan laki-laki. Target language-nya MP was a kingdom of men. Kutipan di atas menceritakan tentang kehidupan pesantren Madani. Dalam novel ini, pesantren Madani merupakan salah satu pesantren di Indonesia yang dikhususkan untuk laki-laki, sehingga tidak ada perempuan di sana, kecuali koki yang bertugas untuk menyajikan makanan untuk para penghuni PM. Hal ini ditunjukkan dalam kutipan di atas bahwa penulis menggambarkan PM sebagai kerajaan laki-laki agar dapat dimengerti oleh pembaca. Bahasa sasaran, penerjemah juga mempertahankan ungkapan metaforis. Lalu datum 36, Ustadz Thorik dengan wajah besi, target language.